Okay, this is Tinker's Mentality. I dropped the tank. Have to drop the tank. And since I had to drop the tank, the pump was making noise, so I put a new pump on in the tank. I'm changing out this cross member because it's quite obvious why here. And then I'm putting on, there's a new cross member standing up, and then the new Smitty built back bumper I'm going to bolt on. This is quite the fun project. I got to grind all the welds off from this rear cross member, and I figure since I'm at it, because I was going to lift it, but it's just, I don't want to go through all that work. But these mounts are cracked. You know, the rubber's all wore out. They're smashed down. All that good fun stuff. So I'm replacing the mounts. I got the new drums for the back brakes ready to slap on when I pull the tires. I had to look on YouTube as where I always get my information on vehicle repairs. There's a lot of them out there. And, to get these mounts off, there's 11 places, 5 on each side, and 1 in the very front. I have the ones on the driver's side. I have 2. I left and 2 then the one on the front just so that the body isn't shifting around. Once I get all this done, said and done, what else is it? The body mounts will probably be in Tuesday. And then I've been working on this rebuilding a 4.0. It's a 40 over. And by golly, I've been working on assembling this for a year and a half or so. I've been working on this engine. I got the Cherokee about 2 years ago or 2.5 years ago, something like that. And I saw it's been a long, slow, drawn out process. Once I get the engine back in, getting another rock crawler front bumper. Not sure if it'll be Smitty built or not, but then I'll put the winch back on too once I get all that all said and done. Well, this is a bugger. The only way I've seen to get in here to these welds, it's welded up here, down here, and up above, was to take my cutter over there, weight on it, cut what I could on here. I was only able to cut it down here and then up above. I had to take the Sawzall to finish cutting the top here. And then with this weld, I took this cold punch and smacked it in here a few times, back and forth quite a bit. And then I took the Sawzall, stuck the blade inside here from this end, and cut it off here. About the only thing I could figure of doing, and then I can get in here to grind this. This right here I believe is welded, and underneath here is welded. By golly, even a metal cutting blade. Burnt that one up. And then I get to take these bolts out of here for the new one. That is doubled up there. Almost looks like they put one over the top of another one. But it's all welded together. I mean, there's no way to even get those separated that I know of. Not with the stuff I have. But anywho's, I thought I'd show you what a pain in the backside it is. And you can see here, it's welded on top, welded down below. It's really a hack job. Sawzall, hacksaw, hack job. Okay, I thought it was funny. But there's this other weld here. So I'll be doing the same thing to this side. as I have taken me this side. I bet an hour and 15 to get that off, cut these off. You know, that cutting blade there really saved me a lot of getting vibrated and shook, and because this Sawzall is, boy, you better have a good hold of that gall darn thing. But anywho's, hopefully I didn't cut anything else up here. Holy smokes, what a lot of work. Yeah, I can't quite get it with the grinder or the cutter, so I had to get the Sawzall to get this knocked down back here as much as possible. It's the only things I had that would reach, and I've been looking on the instructions to see where the weld is. I know there's a weld here, and weld on the bottom, and it says it's supposed to be welded 100% all the way around, and I guess I'll find that out when I go to place the new cross member on. My punch, my cold steel chisel, and just pound the heck out of things here. That's this piece that goes on there. Yep. A lot of work. Alright, I just wanted to show you a little bit how I got this off here. You know, I've had to use this punch to get in here, and then the cold steel punch to get in alongside it to raise this up enough to get the blade with in the Sawzall through there. So I have the blade on the Sawzall now, and since I have both sides here pretty much loosened up, the only thing I really have to cut is the top, and the bottom I'll bend it around. I'll bend this back and forth till the bottom breaks off, and then of course I got to grind it off. And then here's this other weld tab that's on the cross member. I've got to grind that all off. That's takes a long time to grind that. But anyways, I thought I'd show this little step of this process. Discrepancy, because from the outside, the OD diameter to the outside is 42 5/8. But the ID inside diameter of the welding bracket is 43 inches. It's going to go in here like this to get welded for this being too wide. I'm going to sit in here like that to be welded. This piece here will be welded onto the frame, and then this will be welded on to this piece. Yeah. The rear cross member will be welded onto this piece, and that's going to line me up for this hole right here to run bolts. Run a bolt through it. Alright. Got this welded up today. My nephew came out with this welder, and boy, that guy, he really hooked me up good. This is got it all nice and welded up, 100%, like it said in the instructions. You know, just a really good solid welds. So now to be mounting the back bumper. Actually, after I get these bolts fastened on here for the gas tank and skid plate, I got one of these bolts little units. This in here is all broke loose because I just got tired of trying to unscrew them, so I just smacked the bolt through the hole. You know, it's they're like a one-way little locking unit. Anywho, yeah. Whew. Yeah, get that on tomorrow. And then hopefully the body mounts are in. Alright, got this figured out. I had to put a rope up around the spare tire to get this Smitty built back bumper. Rock crawler back bumper. So that I get the two bolts under here to help line it up for the back plates and the bolts that go into the bumper. And so that was how I solved that issue, working on this by myself. Took a couple times to get the rope in the proper length to get this bumper on here, and I actually had to pry my leg, get my leg under here and get it to twist to get this bolt in here lined up properly. That was kind of fun, but it wasn't too bad. And you know, I'll get this back plates and bolts in here, and that'll suck that right up. Yep, looking pretty good. Alright, got the back bumper on. Didn't like those old bright galvanized D-rings, so I painted them black, same as the bumper. Yep, bolted right in there really good. Got the bottom bolts in here. I had to dig around in here and find the proper size. The bolts they sent for that was just a little bit too big around, and the hole here didn't quite line up with the hole, so they were kind of off-centered a little bit one way or the other. I think that this side was this way a little, and the bolt I actually found, bolt went right in there. It worked perfect. These here didn't quite work, so I'll utilize them someplace else. Anyways, got it all done. That part of it anyways. Yeah. Yeah, I have to wait for the body mounts before I can put the tank in. So, anyways. Alright, here I am. I've got the shack body mount kit today. And I'm sitting here, just a tip. You know, I had to tap the other ones out, the old ones out, and the new ones did not quite want to fit. So I pulled the Dremel tool out and just went around the inside of these just a little bit, just enough to get, well, wasn't fighting these mounts to go in here. So now they just slip right in. And upon inspection, I was sitting here looking at these old mounts, and they have this on top, and then the bottom has a washer or something that's actually embedded part of the rubber mount. At the bottom of this doesn't have that option, so it's going to go critical, on like that, I believe, to go ahead and pull all these off out of the old mounts. And they're kind of a pain, you know, you just sit there and twist them out. Like all that extra space in there. And then this being right on the body itself. So I'll be cleaning these up, pulling them off, cleaning them up. You can see it's got rust on the end there. And then utilizing them, sticking them in the top. I thought I'd show that a couple little tips I have noticed about this. I have never done this before. It's the 93 Jeep Wrangler, and it's all a learning curve for me. Alright, I finally got these body mounts in. Boy, that was kind of fun. I had to, each side with it being jacked up, I had to get this pry bar over here a little bit and pry the body up and down. This bar in here to lift it and relieve the pressure off from things and get the bolts on all of the body mounts as straight up and down as I could. The skid plate has to have these 4 bolts in the frame, or the back cross member. I forget what they're called, slip nut or something like that. You know, they're real thin. They're only made to go on, and then to get them off you have to tap the bolt through them. But they go in these squared holes, 4 of them, and these nuts help hold things down, so when I go to get the tank up in there, it won't pop out of place. So right now I'm taking this apart. I watched a video on Power Addicts or Jeep Addicts or something. The guy in there was showing how to do this, replace the heater core. The best way to take this out, take all this apart. I don't think I really have much of anything in the way here. Maybe the CB to get this and some other stuff up inside to get this to drop down out of there. It could be quite the fun project, but anywho, it's got to be done. Got to replace the heater core and the motor. So hopefully I can get that so I can take off on Friday. 2 days. Well, anywho's, I got the tank in the skid plate, and I'm trying to get the heater core unit back in, the whole unit under the dash, and I know this is going to be fun too. You got to have one corner. I might be able to tuck one corner up, get this back in through the hole, and then get blocks up under it to get the jack under it, because you got to have a jack to get it up in here. But anyways, hopefully I'll get this together. It don't look like I'm going to get it done tonight. I've been at it all darn day without too many interruptions. So, anywho's. Alright, I got the Smitty built back bumper on here. The body mounts. And let's see, what else did I do here? Oh yeah, put in the heater core and stuff. Everything's back together, working just fine. Now, in a couple weeks or so, I'll do the motor.